Yeah, take that.
What was that video from Jocko? He was like, if your wife leaves you, good. You're missing your leg, good. Lose your home, good.
Yeah.
Toughen up. Love that video.
That was our lesson in church today. Toughen up, basically.
Yeah.
Like, trials are going to
That's
happen. You know, no pain, no gain.
Sometimes shit just sucks.
That's
Yes.
that's what our pastor said. Sometimes it just sucks.
Facts. Hey, what's up, everyone? We're back as usual. We're going to get better on the release schedule, but, you know, we all work and we're all trying to do this and have jobs and real lives and run businesses.
Kids.
And kids. So thanks for working with us. But lots to get to. Iran is on fire right now.
Yeah, dude.
Literally.
Like, they're literally on fire. They burned down, so the protesters burned down a mosque in Tehran.
No shit.
They burned it, and they're like flying the Iranian flag with the lion on it instead of the Shahada.
That's awesome.
And for those of you that don't know, the Shahada is the Muslim profession of faith. I won't utter it here or anywhere, but you can look it up if you're interested. So, and there's also I don't know. There's a lot of irony going on here. We had people in the streets protesting for Gaza and Palestinians against, you know, the supposed occupation of Israelis, but I haven't heard a peep about any protests in favor of the revolutionaries in Iran that are trying to overthrow the Ayatollah.
They weren't told to protest over it.
They're not getting paid.
Like they weren't told, and they're not getting paid to protest over it. I mean, that's just what it is.
I also am concerned that the left here in the U.S. is going to use what's going on in Iran, right? Overthrowing a tyrannical government that's terrorists, right? I'm wondering if they're going to try to use, oh, they're doing it, so let's do it too.
Let them try, but this isn't even a dictatorship. The difference is like we let them protest, but they're taking it more and more to the extremes of they're throwing stuff at ICE. Like, what do you think? Like, it's so stupid, the stuff that they're doing, blocking them in, following them, like they're boxing them in. There's so much that's going on. Going to what they think the hotel is that they're staying at and trying to barge into those
Gosh, you
places.
saw those videos at the hotel in Minnesota?
I saw that Hilton was like, we're not letting ICE stay here.
No,
I saw
Hilton
that.
actually revoked that person's franchise, came back and pulled the Hilton sign off of it.
That's the Trump effect, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Hilton's not messing around.
No,
They're like, heck no.
there's a video of hundreds of people outside of a hotel, and they're spray painting like F ICE, and they're banging on the glass windows, and it's like, it's awful.
I mean, it sure is pretty bad, but like, I just want to really highlight the hypocrisy here. Why aren't the left, who are supposedly for women's rights and autonomy and freedom, why are they not protesting on behalf of the people of Iran? Why isn't this an issue to them?
Because they're not told to.
No, it's not that. It's I think it's more than that. I think it's an ideological marriage. Like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, the Islamists don't like capitalism. I mean, business. I dated an Iranian girl a couple of years ago, and, you know, obviously we had a lot of conversations about this. She was Catholic. She had fled Iran for obvious reasons, and, you know, she told me a lot of like her experiences in Iran. And I mean, they beat women for not wearing a hijab. There was a couple girls that were hung and killed over that. And since the whole thing with Israel earlier this year, I want to say I saw on the news that Iran had executed like 2,000 people, 2,000 to 3,000 people for supposedly being complicit with us and with the Israelis. And I want to know where the protesters are for this. I mean, but I'll circle back to that. But what she told me how things worked in Iran, it was basically a communist paradise. Like, there was price controls, rent controls, like all the Marxist economic ideals were in place in Iran. So that's my theory. That's what I think is why the left in the West is not protesting or in the streets on behalf of the people of Iran. It's because that's what they want. They ultimately want this economic Marxism. They want, a takedown of capitalism and traditional Christian values in the West.
Even if it's from narco-terrorists.
Narco-terrorists or Islamists. But, I mean, they've been protesting for weeks. Like, here's a video of the people in Iran calling for the return of the Shah. And for those of y'all not familiar, that's like their king, their ruler. They overthrew the Shah. So this guy's father in 79 when Iran became a Islamic republic. So take a listen. And there's tons of videos out there like this. Like, according to the Daily Telegraph, at least 500 dead.
Jeez.
Like the regime is using force against these people to make them stop.
Well, yeah, they executed like years ago one of their top wrestlers and his brother for protesting.
Jeez.
And they like even Dana White and a lot of other athletes were going like, hey, like don't execute him, such and such, but they executed him anyways, and he was one of their best wrestlers.
Well, they don't care about that. It's all about the ideology. Like,
yeah, but wrestling is like their sport.
I mean, but what did they execute him for? For speaking out against for protesting against the regime?
And then you have people out there protesting because of the death of one woman who made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
The reality is just not setting in for so many people.
I don't know. I think Trump's going to use military force in Iran to overthrow the Ayatollah, because there was a news report out of the Telegraph too that Khomeini was going to run to Russia.
Didn't he already go to Russia?
I haven't like really checked and dug in today. I just woke up like a couple hours ago, went straight to church, and then here. So I don't know what the latest is today.
He already went to Russia. I could be wrong, but that's what I did.
Well, this would be good news. This would be good news for America. So I'm for it. You guys pay attention. There's an internet blackout in Iran, but because of Elon and Starlink, there's a lot of protest videos coming out. There's more than 100 cities in which these protests are happening across all of Iran. And our thoughts and prayers are with the protesters and with our Christian brothers and sisters over there who have endured real persecution to the last 40-something years.
Yeah, and don't they have a bunch of like Zoroastrians as well?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were like the Persians.
The other night, I was like, oh, there's an internet blackout. I'm so glad they have Skynet. I was like, wait, not Skynet. Starlink.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you guys were wondering how serious it is, they burned a mosque in Tehran. So, and they seem pretty happy about that, so.
Do you still think a lot of them are still there? Or are they here in America now? Like the bad guys?
They're still there. They're fighting for their country.
No, meaning like the regime that's in. Do you think a lot of them have fled?
Not to America. They're talking about going to Russia.
Oh, that's okay.
That's what the leader was fleeing to Russia. Because Russia, Iran, and China are like tight.
Yeah, so before we move on, I got to play this video because it was really good and really touching. But this is an Iranian refugee who made it to the West. And this is what he has to say.
I'm a political refugee from Iran. I've been to prison. I've been under Islamic law. And I know how it starts and I know how it ends. And it always starts with for some reason, unity of left and Islamists. And it scares me. So I came here to be free. I chose Canada as my second home to live in a free country. And I'm beginning to get really scared. Because the way things are going, it looks like they're going to basically appease Islamists just to not raise any ruckus or something. They're just going to appease them step by step, and they're not going to stop. They see it as a sign of weakness, so they're going to take more and more. And I'm against that. I believe Canada should be free, and freedom of speech is something that.
So there's a video of the Democrat mayor of, I think it was New York, New Jersey. They were raising an Islamic flag while people were chanting Allahu Akbar. Newark, New Jersey, City Hall.
Isn't that treason? That's not freedom of speech anymore.
Well, these are people that are using our tolerant Western liberal values against us. No?
That's a government building that our taxes go to. That's treason. That's not freedom of speech.
It's heating up, guys.
Yeah. Well, they're going to find out. And I mean, that's the one thing that's nice about the United States. We're so big that we're going to have these isolated incidences where this stuff grows and there will be repercussions there, and then we'll have to come and clean up the mess.
Facts.
And it's just the way it's going to play out. We're blessed that we have such a huge country.
I mean, we are, but multiculturalism is a lie. There are cultures that are superior to others based on what your values and mores are. I mean, if you're a Muslim, you probably want an Islamic state. You probably want to live under Muslim law, and I understand that. That's fine. There's a place you can do that.
It's the Middle East.
There's a lot of cultures that don't value life. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It's like what we were talking about last week. I mean, humans left to their own devices, so humanism, aka leftist philosophy, always leads to death.
Yeah.
In every way. It always leads to destruction and death and sorrow and mayhem. And that's what humans are geared toward, destroying each other. And that's why we have
God.
That's why we have God to tell us, hey, this is how you need to be living. But okay, lots of so I know we kind of dabbled on it a little bit ago, but lots of videos, lots of opinions about this lady getting shot in Minnesota by ICE.
I think it's a tragedy, but she also put herself in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks that that happened, but she also was putting herself in that situation where she would have just listened to the law enforcement officers. She would be alive today, but no, she listened to her wife saying, "Drive, baby, drive," where there's an officer right in front. And he did get hit with the vehicle. He didn't get ran over, but he did get hit with it. What if he would have slipped? And she also revved the engine. The tires actually spun, which gave him more time than he would have had if she actually had traction.
Well, let's watch the video from a couple different angles before we get into it, and then we can talk about what happened from a law enforcement perspective.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking country. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
All right, so right here, she is being given lawful commands. The people out there saying that ICE can't detain or do anything against U.S. citizens, they are law enforcement officers. They can enforce anything under federal jurisdiction or federal law, including obstruction. So this guy is ordering her out of the vehicle. They obviously have reasonable suspicion or probable cause that a crime has occurred, and there are reports that she was blocking and following ICE vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So there is, at very minimum, reasonable suspicion for a crime. Watch this video. There's no doubt here that this guy was hit. Look right there. Like, he was definitely hit while he was shooting.
Yeah. I mean, that last angle showed that as well.
Right there. So, obviously, tragic situation, but these ICE guys, I mean, they've been under, like, attack.
Well, and that guy got drugged another different time, like 6 months ago. But they're also from Missouri, right? They weren't even from Minnesota.
I think that's what the plate was, Missouri.
Yeah, like, they're not even from, so why are they all the way up there?
Didn't she live in Colorado?
I don't know.
No, I think it was Missouri.
There was, so...
Reports saying Colorado, then someone said that she recently
Why don't
moved.
we Google it real fast?
Yeah, because I was trying to look it up, and of course, the mainstream media just said mother of three killed by ICE. Like, they didn't give, like, the whole story in context.
And her wife was even, "It's my fault." Yeah, it's your fault too.
She needs to get charged.
And the thing is like, people think that they'll know what to do in those situations, but I guarantee you they'd either get ran over or do the same thing.
Well, it's like, the left is always saying, oh, we're against violence. Are you like?
No, they're
the,
not.
The leftist ideology is revolutionary by its very nature. It's violent by its very nature. So the only thing that stops violence is violence. I'm sorry for you Bob Marley fans out there, but you don't stop violence with, singing songs and saying you love people. I wish that were the case, but it's not true.
Well, and they're just against violence done to them, but they have no problem doing violence. That's why they label everybody Nazis and all this other stuff, so they feel justified. It's okay that you hit him because he's a Nazi, even though he's not a Nazi or racist. They say it so it's like, oh, it's justified violence, even though the person's not racist or a Nazi. He just has a different opinion because they're religious zealots, and they don't identify. They think that their ideas are them personally. They don't think that their ideas are ideas. So when you say you go against their idea that they have in their head, it's like you're attacking them personally.
Oh, they make it personal.
Versus, oh, no, this is my idea, such and such. Oh, you're right at this point. Or, hey, I'm right at this point and you're wrong at this point. But at this point, you make sense. It's, no, you're making a direct attack on me. That's why they say, like, speech is violence and all this other stuff.
Or you hate me.
You hate me.
Or
It's
you're
like, no, I don't like I don't agree with your idea. But they legitimately think that their ideas are who they are. That's why we know every single argument that they're going to make.
Yeah. So I had, over this last week, I had a conversation with a young lady whose parents did come over illegally. They wound up getting citizenship eventually. She got her citizenship as a teenager. And we were having a conversation about this because I don't mind having hard conversations. Usually people get mad at me because of what you were just talking about. But she said that, it was very emotional for her because of a lot of her family had gotten turned away at the border or had got apprehended or sent back. And it was really hard for her. And I'm like, I get that. Like, that's your family. I would probably be upset myself. So, I can definitely have some sympathy there. Not empathy, because my family are not immigrants or haven't been immigrants for a couple hundred years at this point. But she said something that was very telling and kind of stuck out to me, because she said she wasn't concerned about, say, Asian immigration or Middle Eastern immigration or European immigration. She was more concerned about Hispanic immigration, specifically where she was from, which I won't reveal. And that stood out to me because I was saying, okay, you're concerned about your family and your people. You're not concerned about America. You're not concerned about what's good for us. And I understand why she feels that way. Like, I do. She has, personal emotional involvement into it. And I'm not mad at her for feeling that way. She's advocating for, her people, just like I'm advocating for my people.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I will say I watched, like, this part of this whatever podcast, and there was a gal who immigrated from Mexico, and she's like, no, like, I don't identify as Mexican. I'm an American. And she's like, if we went to war with Mexico, I would be for the United States. And that's the way people need to have their mindset. You can't come here and have dual allegiances.
Facts.
Like that's my biggest issue is when you're coming here and you have dual allegiances, you're flying a Somalian flag or a Mexican flag or an Irish flag or whatever flag it is. I don't care. You're American. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I don't go to your country and wave my flag around and say, oh, da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's just, I know that's culturally not appropriate. And that's what it should, your freedom of speech and all this other stuff. But when you're showing me that you have dual allegiances and you pick another country over the one that you're currently living in, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that too. And then you have the Nick Fuentes and the fourth or woke right types that are like, oh, well, what about Israelis? And
well, same thing. I don't think they should have dual allegiances.
yeah, but with them, I think the reason, I mean, I'm not trying to get off on this tangent, but I think the reason that they do is because of what has happened to their people for so long. Like, they want a home to go home to.
But everybody can say something like that, though.
Yeah, they can. And like
every culture has been oppressed. Every culture has been. Look at the Armenian genocide. I mean, you can say that with any culture that has ever been around. Look at the British culture when the Anglo-Saxons sacked, like, England, or the Vikings came and raided England, or the Normans that came and raided England and conquered England. You know, I mean, every culture has that excuse, like, to be that. Now, you can support other countries. There's nothing wrong with supporting other countries, But having dual allegiances to countries is where I draw the line. It's like it has to be America first. Like you can't have dual allegiances. You can support another country all you want. Like I support Ireland, like being like, no, like we are not an Islamic country. I support Poland being like, no, we are a Christian country. I support
Poland.
countries that are like, no, like this is our country. Like I can support them all I want, but I'm not, just because I have heritage from that country doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, I support Ireland over America, or I don't support Ireland nearly like I support America.
Yeah. No, I would definitely be on board with what you're saying there. The only reason I bring up the Israelis because that is a hot topic on the right and in America right now, and I think like I agree with you. You should have complete and total allegiance to the United States of America, as I do. But I understand why Israelis or Jews would have dual passports.
Remember how Rome fell? Like, it's because he let everybody become Roman and then no one was Roman.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here with our country. And we have to have these lines. I feel like if you come here and then you have a dual allegiance, we should kick you out of this country to that country you have dual allegiance to and be like, well, until you're like America first and this other country second, like, you can't come in here. That's just how I feel.
Going back to that girl that you were talking about from Mexico, do you think it was more like she was worried about immigration because she knows America's better and she just wants her family here? Or do you think she's like, Mexico's great, but we're going to live in America, but Mexico's great?
No, I think it was the former because she also, was of the opinion, like, if you're here committing crimes and fraud, you need to go.
So I think that sentiment is, it's very genuine, right? Like, I'm
sure.
worried about my family because depending on what, confidential city she's from, it's probably not very safe. And she probably is worried about immigration for her family to come to the U.S. because the U.S. is better. And that could just very well be what she meant behind it. She was worried about her family being safe here.
Probably, but she still like had that idea of her people versus America. At least that's what I got from the conversation. And like I said, I wasn't mad at her. I wasn't getting out of pocket. I was just literally having a conversation with her about it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I gathered from that. But my point is this. You don't have a right to come to this country.
Well, no, and also you should see Americans as your people. When you come here, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't look at, like, Ireland and all these other places in Europe like they're my people. Like, I'm sorry, they're not my people. Like, my people are Americans, and there's no race, like, skin color. I believe Americans are a race. I'll just put that out there. I think Americans are a race of people.
We got the American blood flowing through us.
No, 100%. But I don't sit there and I'm not like, oh, like, my people, like, from Ireland and Germany and France and all these other places. No, they're not my people. Like, I don't know them whatsoever. Like,
Well, yeah, like
and even if I knew them and I was coming here, it's like, no, those aren't my people. Like, I left here for a reason. If you really love that place, you should go back and fix that place. Like Americans have done throughout all of history. We fought civil wars. We've had major debates. We've shed blood to make this country what it is. We didn't just up and leave and go to another country and be like, well, now I'm over here until my country gets better. And now I'm going to love my country, even though more than the country that I'm in. Like, I'm not okay with that whatsoever. Like, we've sacrificed so much just to hand it over to people that don't respect all the blood, sweat, and tears that came in here. Like, I don't think people understand how bloody the Civil War was. Like, that, we lost more Americans in that war than we did in any other war.
I think it was like 1 million.
Yeah, it was
KIA.
insane. And like, so we've done so much from the civil rights. Our history, like, when people's like, oh, our history is bad. I'm like, no, our history is the most badass history there is. Like, we looked at, like, an institution like slavery, said, oh, this is bad. We fought a whole war to end that.
And then we sent our Navy to stop it.
And so, in such a short period of time, all these other empires and all these other regions around the world, whether it's the continent of Africa, Asia, Europe, the Middle East, South America, even here in America with the natives, like, everybody enslaved everybody else. And they were, through the time they started till the time they ended, where America put their foot down and were like, heck no. And same thing with England. They put their foot down and said, no, like, this is a wrong and morally wrong thing to do. We're going to end it. And America has not been around nearly as long as England and all these other places. And there's still slavery going on today.
There is. For those of you that think slavery is dead and somehow that is a uniquely American sin, you would be wrong.
Yeah.
There is still there's still slavery in the Middle East. There's still slavery in Africa. There's still slavery in the Far East, in the more underdeveloped places of the world. So it is not a uniquely American sin. I mean, both me and you both have like Irish ancestry,
Me too.
and you do too.
Yay, good for you. You're so proud of you.
So like, the extent of my love for Ireland is like Guinness beer and St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to choose America over that.
I always tell people, like, Ireland's problem was everybody thought that they were the main character, where England, they're like, okay, the king's the main character, we're going to do what he says, and that's why they're able to conquer all over the place, where the Irish are like, they don't like being told what to do by somebody else, so they all fought each other. There's only one person that united them. I can't remember his name, but it's when they fought the Battle of Dublin to kick the Vikings out.
Well, you're also forgetting the 1916 Easter Rising and Michael Collins.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Yeah. That is a very interesting part of history that I think me and you both would enjoy talking about. But also, like, the immigration stuff, like, I think Trump's going about it a decent way, but I think there's a better way to go about it, because we've talked about it before. You remove the incentive structures for illegals to be here, they won't be here.
Yeah, they shouldn't get welfare. Like, what are all these, like, people, like, from Somalia being on welfare? And then after 10 years, still, like, 78% of them are still on welfare.
Well,
10 years later, like, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no, that's why we need a country somewhere else where we can have, like, a processing country or a processing state somewhere that's not here. And then if you do good at this processing state, then you get to come to the continental United States. That sounds great to me. If you assimilate there, then you can come over here.
Or we could just enforce our immigration laws.
There's that video.
Yeah, but I think that'd be...
There's that video of Ilhan Omar. She's talking about how it's unjust, like the Somali fraud or the fraud in general, because she doesn't want to call it the Somali fraud, that it is also a travesty to the Somali community because they also pay taxes. So I'm like, yeah, but like 80-something% of them are on welfare, so they're just paying for...
And she's somehow worth $30 million. I'm just saying.
In 3 years.
It went from like negative 30, her net worth negative 30,000 all the way up to 30 million. I'm just saying, somebody was getting kickbacks from somewhere.
Yeah, but paying taxes by virtue alone does not give you a right to stay here. I think it's actually immoral that we have illegals paying taxes because we're extracting wealth without benefit from them. But like, I don't know. I think this whole immigration thing is a problem, but there is some legislation that's being pushed now to change some of these incentive structures. Like, I forget the politician that did it, but in the last week they just put forth legislation so that you can't send any money back to your country of origin.
Good.
Like, no
Good.
remittance. We're not just taxing remittances. We're saying no remittances.
None.
You can't send them back. And like, yes.
Well, they were leaving the country with bags of cash.
Oh yeah, I saw the news about that. Like, they were flying millions of dollars at a time back to
Daily.
Somalia.
Wow.
And TSA getting
Daily.
to stop them because, yeah, but if you're an American and you do a transaction on Zelle or whatever for more than $600, you better put that on your taxes, buddy.
Yep.
But they can fly millions and millions of dollars back to Somalia and fund al-Shabaab.
Yeah, insane.
It's insane.
It's got to stop, folks. Oh, and if you're wondering why they're doing it, it's not out of a sense of compassion. Let's take a look at this video. This is what they want.
The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
11 million undocumented freaking people. Oh my gosh, like, that's more than some states. It's a fourth of Canada's population.
Yeah, but there's way more than 11 million people here. And you guys are like, why do they want them to have citizenship?
Oh my gosh!
They
Wait,
want votes.
you get a representative. Yeah, because let me do this. So you got 11 million divided by 250,000, because that's 44 representatives in the House. You get one rep for every 250,000 people.
Oh, so it's 44 that are in Democrat districts that are in Congress?
I'm sure maybe some might be in Republican areas, but I'm just saying there's one side that seems to be the sanctuary cities,
and
And
benefiting
that's
from this.
44 House representatives worth of freaking people.
We know who's paying for all of them to be here.
And who is that? Oh,
Who is it? Spill the beans.
Is it our
I
favorite
don't want to get
billionaire?
suicided.
is it? I don't think we're important enough to get suicided yet.
We got like 10 viewers.
Come on.
Hi,
Live on the
Mom.
edge. Live on the edge, Elle. Who is
I
it?
mean, George Soros is one of them.
Okay, obvious boogeyman.
He's known. Yeah.
Did you see this protest video where they're calling to hang Kristi Noem?
I saw some scuttlebutt. I haven't seen a video saying that we should hang Kristi Noem.
This is terrorism.
Oh, this video. Oh, man. Yeah.
I haven't seen this one.
Save our life! Kill him ice! Save our life! Kill him ice!
Like,
So
how is that not like a call to violence?
Well, it's a crime. You can't call for the
They're
death
doing
of
it?
public. Well, I know they're doing it. They've been doing it for a long time, and they've just been getting away with it. And that's why I'm mad at like conservatives or supposed conservatives and Republicans right now, because they're part of the same. They're part of that same machine, that same political ideology,
Yeah. It's just, wow.
and that's why there's no legislation passed about this crap. I mean, it's a good step in the it's a step in the right direction that they're putting forth this legislation. So now pass it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now how are we going to stop these activist judges from doing what they're doing? Like, somehow judges still think that they can countermand the president of the United States when it comes to foreign policy or domestic policy.
I think the Supreme Court shut a lot of that down, though.
Well, they did, but they're still doing it. There was a couple of
So
judges.
so they think that they don't have to listen to the law.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure that was clear.
We need to make domestic terrorism an official charge. Like, it's not. So, like, let's say out of
It's
domestic...
not a charge.
No. So, let's say you go and do an act of domestic terrorism and you bomb a location. You're going to end up getting a charge of arson.
Oh, you're not charged with
Domestic terrorism.
Yeah, but I think terrorism is a charge writ large, right? And that covers domestic and international, or no?
I know that domestic terrorism is not one, and we're seeing a lot of new radicalized, extremists here domestically. So.
Well, that's the radicalized judiciary, because in 2020 during the Summer of Love, those guys that firebombed like the federal buildings, they weren't charged with anything. They weren't charged with terrorism.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think they were given like time served and stay out of trouble order for like 2 years or something like that. But I think the complaint is like we need this codified in law, and people have this unrealistic expectation that we're going to take back all of the institutions in 8 months.
Well, the problem is also a lot of conservatives now go to be teachers.
Well, that's true, but it doesn't matter if they do or not, because the institutions, the ones that are writing the curriculum, that have the policy power, are leftists.
Yeah.
They're all leftists. Like in school jurisdictions, at least in California, you can't talk about Christmas. You can't talk about Easter. You can't talk about like July 4th. I mean, they're out of school, but you can't at that time, but you can't talk about these things that are, uniquely American and American culturally.
Yeah, and they don't talk about the Alamo enough either.
Remember the Alamo. That's a great American story.
Heck yeah, man. Like 13 days. What was it, 189 men? 180 something? Holding back 5,000?
Jim Bowie with his huge pocket knife,
Dude, yeah.
doing work on Santa Ana. I wonder how many scalps he took.
Davy Crockett?
Yeah, Davy Crockett was at the Alamo.
Yep.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. What? Oh, when this guy gets smashed, dude.
I just look over and see.
Yeah,
it, and
well,
I'm like,
the left is trying to capitalize on that, and I'm just glad that people on the right are pushing back, and people...
They're not giving inch. We're done being like, you're right, or trying to like, no, it's people are fed up with this, and they know like, you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Well, the compassion hammer doesn't work anymore.
No, we're so fed up with it.
We're over it. But the one where the ICE agent blasted that dude in the face with a pepper ball or a less lethal munition, the dude tried to grab the agent's weapon.
Yeah, dumbass.
Like, that's not okay.
We should have like a dumbass award. We should have like
Oh,
Red Foreman saying
Oh,
dumbass.
well, we didn't dive into like the law enforcement perspective of that.
Yeah, I wanted to circle back on it.
Yeah. So I think we should definitely talk about that, because people need to understand like what is okay, what isn't okay, what is reasonable. And I think we should start off with Supreme Court case law, Graham v. Connor. Not just Graham v. Connor, but Supreme Court case law is an officer's application of force is judged not from 20/20 hindsight, but judged from what they knew at the time and in comparison to what a reasonable officer
Would believe, yeah.
would do. So to look at that situation from my perspective, and then we'll get your take too, El, is they had at least reasonable suspicion of a crime. There were reports that this lady was following ICE agents around and blocking them from proceeding and doing all this other kind of stuff, which is obstruction, which is a crime. And at the federal level, it's actually a felony. So they decided they're going to take this lady into custody. Officer comes up, gives her lawful commands. Stop, get out of the car. She refuses to. The other officer circles around to the front, which when you're doing a vehicle extraction, having lethal coverage to the front of the vehicle is normal technique, right? That is a trained tactic. It is completely reasonable. The other ICE officer goes to, or DPS or whatever he was, goes to go and pull her out of the vehicle, and she decides to flee, which applies to Graham v. Connor.
With her wife saying, drive, baby, drive. Like inciting her to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's irrelevant when it comes to the law.
No, because she can be charged.
I think that's a stretch, to be quite honest with you. I think that's a stretch. But she backs up. She is attempting to evade arrest by flight, and then she drives towards the officer on lethal coverage, who, if you look at some takes of the video, it looks like he's directly in front of the vehicle, but I think he's positioned slightly off to the side, slightly off to the quarter panel, with his weapon drawn down. And she drives forward. He is struck by the vehicle. It is reasonable for anyone to presume that she was going to cause substantial bodily harm or death to that guy. And he can't walk away. Like, this whole idea that cops just need to walk away to avoid applying force or applying the law is ridiculous.
You know what I'd love is for one of these leftists to call in and be like, oh, somebody's breaking into my house. And then be like, sorry, you guys told me that I need to walk away.
Well, no, that's what happened. So in a lot of jurisdictions, like, we'll circle back to the actual topic here in a second, but in a lot of jurisdictions, a lot of places, even if it's like a DV arrest, and say this woman is beaten bloody by her drunk, belligerent husband or boyfriend or whatever it is, if he's in the house and she's out of the house, even though there is probable cause to arrest this guy and it's obvious that a crime has been committed, the cops will ask the woman to go somewhere else, because they don't want to risk a use of force or bad press by going in there and grabbing that guy. Now tell me that's not a perverse incentive. Tell me that's not perverse. Like, it absolutely is. But this agent taking those shots, giving his training and experience and what he's experienced with these protesters over the last year or so, I think it's completely reasonable that he thought that she was trying to run him over. And we can look at it frame by frame. We can sit there and analyze it, and we can sit and talk about it for hours and days on end. In that split second, it's reasonable that he believed that she was trying to run him over.
Mm-hmm. My perspective of it is, yes, having, front coverage where he was is important. But if it were me and I was there and I knew that vehicle was on and I saw it was backing up and moving around, I wouldn't have taken a front spot. I might be off to the side, like the tactical L or something, but I wouldn't try to be directly in front of the vehicle. I'm not saying he necessarily created his imminent jeopardy, but he didn't place himself in the greatest place to survive. Because if, let's say she was just planning to run him down, she had full opportunity, and if he wasn't quick enough or he had a jam, he would have really gotten hurt or killed. So I know for him placing himself there was, to me, not the smartest, but I also know that he was walking. So he was kind of coming around the vehicle because the situation was escalating. So I don't think he necessarily was like, I'm going to stand here and see if she's going to run me over. I don't think that was it at all. I know that he was the one that got dragged 50 feet back in June. Did you know that?
So I heard that. I didn't know if it was confirmed. So if it's confirmed that this guy had already been hit, like, that just kind of reinforces his actions.
I don't think that it was out of PTSD at all. I think it was out of, he's been here before, and he knew that what happens when a car hits you, it drags you and it can kill you or run you over.
Yeah, and it's like, everyone has a bunch of ideas of what should happen after the fact, but the law enforcement game is real, y'all. Like, it happens quickly. It happens just like that. And if you're not ready to sit there and defend yourself, it's going to be you in a box.
Yeah.
And I don't know of any cop that is okay with going in a box because of a situation like this. And there was an image that was shown because there were some false reports saying that he was shooting from the side of the vehicle, which if he was, it could have been I think there's a couple of reasonable explanations for that, but one of the rounds impacted in the lower right corner of the windshield. Like, he wasn't even completely on target. And if he did shoot from the side, I think it's reasonable and lawful. I don't think it's the best move, but if he did shoot into the window while the vehicle was fleeing, I mean, I think, Tennessee v. Gardner, I think that applies there too, because you're preventing the escape of a violent fleeing felon.
Well,
like,
also,
technically that meets.
if she's willing to run her vehicle towards him, there's other officers there too. Who's to say that she's not going to continue on and try to hit another one? You know, so like she's already shown force, right, with her vehicle. There's that as well. But also it wasn't reasonable suspicion, it was probable cause. Did you see the video of the 3 minutes leading up to the event?
So no, I had heard about it. I saw a little blurb, but I didn't really dig into it because
she was blocking all lanes of traffic. She was completely sideways like this in the road, and she was honking her horn to some corny rhythm like bump 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 bump, like over and over and over again. And other cars are honking at her. So like she was actively obstructing for a long time before that all happened.
So they had probable cause to make the arrest, and then when she drove that vehicle towards that ICE officer, now we have probable cause for a violent felony, because it doesn't matter whether she was trying to, like, you can make the argument all you want that she was trying to escape. I mean, her actions were obviously in wanton disregard for human life because there was an ICE agent right there.
Yeah.
So it's probable cause. Like, for those of you that don't understand, like, probable cause is just, you know, the conclusion that this likely happened. It's not a very high standard of proof, but we have video.
There's video of it. I watched it.
Yeah, we have video of her hitting this cop, and he has a right to enforce those laws. He has a right to defend himself. He is a law enforcement agent. He is not restricted to just illegal immigrants. They can put hands on American citizens. I think the shooting is tragic, as all OISs are, but I think it's what he did was reasonable, and that's my conclusion. I'll stand on business with that.
I agree.
Yep.
And if you notice, when law enforcement is out there doing work and they have the support of their leadership, things tend to not get out of hand so much. Because now the Democrat leaders in Minneapolis and Portland and all these other hotbeds of domestic left-wing terrorism, they're telling them, don't burn, don't riot, don't loot, don't get out of pocket, because that's what Trump wants and his authoritarian regime wants.
They're waiting for the Insurrection Act to come through.
Well, they're afraid of pushback. They're afraid of consequences. Like, consequences stop this kind of stuff. You want to protest? Go for it. I have no problem with every citizen in Minneapolis getting out there and screaming that this was wrong and protesting. Yeah. I have no problem with it. And I'll say it again. I have no problem with it. You have a First Amendment right to do that. You do not have a First Amendment right to block traffic, loot, riot, assault cops, beat cops, shoot cops. Because, in Vegas during the 2020 riots and protests, we had a cop shot in the head on the strip.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
And that's what it escalates to if you don't push back on these people. So,
did you see this video right here? This is that hotel. Yeah, but they're spray painting F-ICE on the window. They've breached the doors.
So let me ask people out there, and I want y'all to think of this. Would you not feel threatened in that situation? Would you not be fearful for your safety in that situation?
Yeah, man, somebody busted into my freaking place.
Well, you're shooting.
Yeah.
I already know.
It's like, what are you thinking? Like, dumbass?
I don't know. I think that's absolutely crazy. And law enforcement is a messy business, guys. Force is never pretty. It's never going to be pretty. And you know what? Force happens. That's part of the job. And it just is what it is. I want to reiterate, I tell people this all the time. If you don't want to be hurt by the cops, there is a way that I can guarantee that you will never be hurt by the cops. Listen. Just listen. And with 100% certainty, you will never get hurt by the cops. Wait, what was there was another video. You know that Chris Rock video where it says, like, how not to get your ass kicked by the police? Do y'all remember that?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah, we're going to watch that because if I can find it. And if you follow this simple guide, you are going to walk away in the manner in which you arrived. So let's take a listen.
The Chris Rock Show proudly presents this educational video. Have you ever been face to face with a police officer and wondered, is he about to kick my ass? Well, wonder no more. If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine. First, obey the law.
Yeah, so that's the big
Laws were made
one.
for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. Well, here's some of that shit. Carjacking, armed robbery, arson, selling drugs, buying drugs, stabbing, shooting. You know, you probably won't get your ass kicked if you just use common sense. If you jump a subway turnstile, you might just get off with a warning from the police. But if you jump a turnstile carrying a loaded gun and smoking a joint, then maybe you need your ass kicked. We all know what happened to Rodney King. But Rodney wouldn't have got his ass kicked if he had just followed this simple tip. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately.
Yeah, Rodney didn't stop.
Everybody knows, if the police have to come and get you, they're bringing an ass kicking with them.
Yeah, it's called incentives.
Here's a no-brainer. If you're listening to loud rap music, turn that shit off. Blasting "fuck the police" while you're getting pulled over by the police is just ignorant. When an officer approaches your car, be polite.
Is there a problem, officer?
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the fuck do you want, motherfucker?
Unless you want your ass kicked.
Yep, that's a good way to get your
Wanna
ass
give a
kicked.
friend a ride? Not so fast. Your friend might be crazy. Now, before you let your friend in your car, ask them these questions. Do you have a gun? Do you have drugs? Do you have any warrants? And in case you do get pulled over by the cops,
License and registration, please.
remind your friend to do this one thing. Shut the fuck up.
Man, don't give him shit. What the fuck you want?
If you have to give a friend a ride, get a white friend.
Of course,
A
this
white
had to
friend
be
can
added
make the
into
difference
this.
between a ticket and a bullet in the ass.
Not a ticket.
Here's a tip you should never forget. If your woman is mad at you, leave her at home. Because a mad woman will say anything.
He got weed! He got weed!
If your woman is mad at you, there's nothing she'd like to see more than you getting your ass kicked.
That's right! Kick his motherfucking ass! Take the weed! He got weed!
Now let's review. Obey the law. Use common sense. Stop immediately. Turn that shit off. Be polite. Shut the fuck up. Get a white friend. And last but not least, don't ride with a mad woman. If you follow these simple pointers, you probably won't get your ass kicked by the police.
I mean, these are all very I mean, that's humorous, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if we just apply like the basis of that video to that lady in Minnesota's situation, she gets to go home.
Yeah.
She gets to go home, but the ideologues that are running that particular part of American culture, the leftist part of American culture. They want this. They want blood on the streets. They want something to outrage people because that's how they move the needle in their favor.
And the news is totally trying to take advantage of this.
And, even if she did stop the car and she got out, there's no guarantee that they would have even arrested her because they're there to do a different job and not have to try to deal with her. They could have just made sure she had no warrants, checked her information, and said, please just get on with your way and don't do this because we could arrest you. They didn't have to arrest her. They could pull her out and talk to her and identify her. But she may have just been able to just go home in general without even getting arrested.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, given what was going on, I think it's very likely she does get arrested. But
I know their resources are low, though, so they may have not had, time for it.
It's a possibility, but at the end of the day, arrested is better than dead. The place you find is in the courtroom, not on the streets, because I guarantee this. Even if you kill a cop or shoot a cop, the cops are going to win 100% of the time. They are going to find you. No matter how long it takes, they are going to find you.
They're not going to just drop it.
No. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
It goes to a whole nother section in their agency that their whole purpose is to find you and arrest you.
So just submit. And people that, presumably her line of thinking is that, well, I don't have to listen to this fascist regime. This is illegal. They can't do this. You are stupid. They absolutely can, and they did, and now you're dead because of your thought process. And I think that's awful.
There's people saying that ICE isn't even law enforcement. I'm like, it's immigration customs enforcement. Immigration enforcement.
Well, yeah, and it's the thing that's crazy is seeing the media machine. Obviously, I think they're a lot panicked because of possibly kickbacks and all this other stuff that they get and funding and whatnot. But late night hosts, Jimmy Kimmel and these people are trying to make it steer it in one way. She was completely innocent and all this other stuff. And
she was not.
He's so out of touch. He's so out of touch with reality.
Do you just go back and watch any of his Man Show stuff? He's a complete hypocrite. It's insane that people take anything he says serious.
Well, people, I say this all the time. People, businesses are not moral, guidepost of a community. Late night host, actors, same thing. They're out there chasing money. They're out there chasing fame.
And they play pretend for a living.
Yeah, they play pretend. They're going to go wherever they think the money is. They are. Now, some of them are true believers in whatever, and, that's fine to be.
Sorry, I worked in Hollywood. There's very few, reasonable people.
Yeah, but you may be a true believer in, say, your particular brand of politics. I'm saying that's possible, right? But if you're a famous person or a rich person or you own a corporation or you're a CEO or whatever it is, you can afford to not experience the consequences of your ideology that you're pushing on the rest of us. Mm-hmm. You have armed security. You have, a gate and a big wall in your mansion that is pushed back from, where us normal people live.
Get rid of all your guns, but I'm going to have armed security.
Yeah, precisely. Guns are bad. No one should have guns except for the people I think should have guns.
That protect my house with guns.
Well, leftists love guns. They say they don't love guns. They don't love people like me having guns, but they love guns because if you don't pay these taxes, which is wealth redistribution in their mind, eventually they're going to send a guy with a gun to make you pay. You're going to go to jail. They're going to freeze your accounts, all this stuff. And it's a guy with a gun that's doing it.
Yep. And taxation is theft.
Yeah, leftists love guns. They won't admit it, but they absolutely love guns. It's been a wild week. It's been a wild couple of weeks. Actually, Trump also did airstrikes in Syria because two of our brave soldiers got killed by ISIS over there. I think they struck 90 different targets or something like that.
Yeah, that was recently. Last couple of days?
Yeah, that was in the last couple of days. And I am 100% for this because there needs to be consequences for what you do. If you harm an American, there needs to be consequences.
Yep.
I fought in Syria, and I'm all for this. Absolutely. Keep it up, President Trump. Absolutely keep it up.
Did you see I saw some stories going around with firsthand accounts of what it felt like being in Venezuela when they came in there and how scary the technology that the U.S. military has.
Oh, I read
the sonic thing
sonic
that they have.
Boom thing?
That just totally made everyone their heads feel like they were gonna explode.
Yeah.
There's some people on the left that were like, oh, they're just lying. They're just trying to say that we have this stuff just to make people scared of the U.S. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Did you read the same article I did? It was like a security
Security
guard
guard.
Yep.
that was in where Maduro was,
And
because
that,
he was on a military base, right?
yeah, and that hundreds of them died, and it was just like 20 guys that dropped down, like 8 helicopters or something like that.
Oh, dude, I gotta find this quote. Because it is epic.
Yeah, there was people trying to say that that was like false and it was just propaganda to try to make us sound more mighty than we are.
And why would you want that? Like, why would you want America to be less than what we are? These are the same people that are like, we better not mess with the cartels because they're about their business. They're people we can't take on the cartels. Bro, stop it.
We can wipe them.
That security guard was like, it was quiet. It was just like any other day. We're just on post. And then out of nowhere come all these drones and 8 helicopters and 20 men drop down.
And I wonder if some of those drones were the same drones that we saw here in the United States that no one can identify for that period of time. When Biden was in office, before Trump got into office.
You think they're
Or they had the
testing
drones
out?
on the, I think they were like testing them out because any drone they tried flying up there would, basically it seemed like an EMP would take it out or something.
Yeah, because I guess they had lost all connections first.
Yeah, and people were trying to shoot it down, but couldn't, and all this other stuff. Like,
I've never seen anything like it. Maduro's security guard lays out what it's like facing the U.S. military.
The ending had something pretty epic, didn't it?
I think so. Speaking in Spanish, the man said Americans came in undetected by Maduro's security and killed hundreds of men, despite the fact that they were badly outnumbered. These 20 men, quote, these 20 men killed hundreds of their men, and none of those soldiers were injured, a man translating the Venezuelan insider said. It was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed. It seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. Reference that technology you're talking about. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. These 20 men without a single casualty killed hundreds of us, he continued. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. I'm sending a warning who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with. Yes.
oh, really?
Then you have the left in America saying that was
Whoa.
propaganda, that we're not that mighty.
Yeah, because they hate us.
Yeah.
They hate themselves. They
I
hate
don't get
themselves.
and that's how do you not know you're indoctrinated when you hate your own country?
And
or
you hate
strongly despise
You
it?
hate your own people.
Yeah, like that's what I don't understand is how do you not take that rational step to be like, why do I hate my own country? Like, the greatest country where everybody wants to come to, why do I hate it? Like, it's
Because they hate their personal life.
it's so
They hate themselves.
yeah,
Yes.
that's it. It's like how do you? I just
Well, like,
yeah.
like, I'm not mad. There's some things I respect about Muslim culture and Islamic culture. They protect their culture. They protect their religion. They are proud of that. Same thing with Indians. Same thing with Latin Americans. And I respect that. I just want more of that in the U.S. And obviously, we don't want it to turn into, like, a racial thing. But if we don't come back to reason and somewhere in the Overton window of reasonable, it is going to become a racial thing. It is going to become violent.
it's a lot of white liberal women.
Yeah, it's always a white liberal women. Dude, there was a video, it was crazy, online where this guy was like, this is my argument for repealing the 19th Amendment. Every modern horrific tragedy that has occurred in American culture has occurred because of the female vote. And I was like, I don't know if I'm 100% on board with that, but
My grandma
it was
is.
funny.
My grandma.
Oh, tell me about your grandma is so badass. I
my
love your
grandma's
grandma.
like, this country started going to hell when women got the right to vote. And I'm like, Grandma, calm down a little bit. Like,
Oh, did you see this video? Frankie showed me.
oh, watch this. Now they're going to have to deal with white liberal women in the Muslim culture. This shit's hilarious.
Oh, wait.
And she does that pecking, that you know how like the white, like the peck, like I couldn't stand it in college. It's how they talk. I swear.
Let the video speak, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this woman.
If you are a Muslim who is transphobic and homophobic, not only are you contributing to the mass killing of LGBTQ people, you are also contributing to the Muslim genocide by giving ammunition to Zionists and other Islamophobes, violently killing Muslims around the world, and allowing them to pinkwash our genocide by saying, hey, look, all Muslims are bad people because look what they would do to you in Gaza. Look what they would do to you in Muslim countries. And y'all could argue until your faces are blue in the comments about if it's haram or not. I literally don't care. You are meant to love people, respect, and show kindness.
How are you going to join someone's religion and then tell them how to do it?
It keeps going. Let her keep going. Let her keep going.
Kindness to people. If your version of religion has to do with being a bigot that gets people killed, not hurting anyone, just being who they are, I don't want any part of it. And keep in mind that in the Quran 2 times it says, to me my religion and to you yours, and there is no compulsion in Islam. It's literally
There's
haram
no compulsion.
for you
Y'all
to
can have
expose
her.
your religion and your
Y'all
beliefs
can
on
have
other
her.
people. No one's asking you to be trans.
We
At
don't
the
want
same
her.
time, you are also pushing away people who are trans, who are gay, from becoming Muslim. Whether you like it or not, there are LGBTQ Muslims who are part of our ummah. They are just as Muslim as you are. And at the end of the day, subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah. Allah is greatest, Allah knows best, and you need to humble yourself.
Bro, someone needs to check on that chick because she's probably dead right now.
No, dude, like, let her. I hope she's still alive, so they have to deal with them. Like, us Christian men had to deal with this for so freaking long. Now they can have them all.
Dude, like that.
That was
is-
so painful.
That is parody.
But it's like that pecking, like,
She's like, at 2 times.
I'm gonna tell you, and it's just like, you join someone's religion that you're just like new of, and now you're tell them after thousands of years, or not thousands even, like a little over 1,000 years
of Muslim aggression and murder.
You're gonna tell them that this is how your religion is supposed to operate.
Is it her eyeshadow and her nails haram?
I have no idea,
dude. I don't know. I've been reading a lot of the Quran lately, and it's actually worse than what you think.
I have a copy of it. I need to pick that up.
Well, no. So I've been getting into the whole apologetics thing, Christianity versus Islam, because I think, like, from a Christian perspective, Muslims and Arabs are very, like, spiritual people, and that's a good thing.
100%.
I think Christians need to start studying up and taking a page out of Sam Shamoun's book or James Wood's book and start trying to convert these guys, because
And when they convert, they're super diehard Christians.
Yeah.
Like, when they convert, they really convert to Christianity. Like, they take it. They're some of the greatest, like, worshipers there are.
Because they are.
And we have to remember, like,
spiritual.
Like, Paul was the one that was persecuting Christians, and then all of a sudden, Paul became the one creating Christians.
Yeah.
We always have to keep that in our mind. Like, that was Paul's path. He went from, I'm going to go and kill Christians to now I'm making them. So everybody has a path.
Yeah, in that video, I think it highlights, like, the gaslighting coming from the Islamists, because Islam started in 632 AD, right?
And that was the death of Muhammad, yeah.
And ever since then, it has been nothing but conquest. Like, Syria used to be 100% Christian, Egypt, Christian, Iraq, Christian, Persia, Christian, all of it. And they have been, it's just been conquest for 1,400 years.
Persia's still a lot of Zoroastrians going on.
But there was Christianity there.
Yeah.
There was Christianity.
Yes, there was Christianity there.
Yeah, there was
100%.
There was Christianity in India. Like, the Hindus and the Buddhists, like, drove John out because, they felt threatened by their culture. So, yeah, got it. The only place that Muslims are being persecuted is by other Muslims, and then maybe in India, because there's definitely some Muslim v. Hindu crap going on over there. Everywhere else in the world, it's Christians getting killed. The Nigerian Christian genocide is still happening. And if you're wondering, like, I want to ask the Palestinian, the pro-Palestinian, the pro-Islamist people, if you say that the Jews are genociding you because they're moving you from your ancestral homelands, like, why don't you apply that same logic to Muslim v. Christian?
Because they're not told to.
Well, it's because they don't care. It's about conquering.
It's because if the media brought it up, then they would be on it.
Like, Christianity historically has always been about, like, conversion, right? And everyone's like, oh, but the Crusades were defensive wars that needed to happen. They were 100% defensive wars that needed to happen.
There were Christian lands that were invaded in the first place, and we had to do a defensive action. Otherwise, they were going to keep steamrolling like they did all the way. They lost 2 battles when they did finally get across the Hellespont and over to into Greece and whatnot. You see what happens. That's why we have Istanbul instead of Constantinople.
Yes, we do. But I think that wraps it up today, guys. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment because we really enjoy doing this, and this is a fun journey. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.